Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you guys today about the M&P Shield 9 EZ. Okay, I just got back from a training session. This is my fourth time training somebody on that gun. I've had a chance to shoot it myself now 4 times, and I did an initial impressions video on it, and now I'm absolutely sure that my initial impressions about the gun were correct. Okay, number one, I thought that the gun, for its size, had a very low capacity, 8 rounds. Okay, now mind you, I don't have a problem carrying a gun that only has 8 rounds capacity, but the gun that I carry is a lot smaller than that. So I think it's a very large gun for only 8 rounds. So that was my first thought on that. My second thought on that gun, okay, and I've confirmed it now 4 times with 4 different people, and including myself when I tested it. There is a conflict between using the thumb safety, right, thumb safety here, and the backstrap safety. Okay, now I'm using the 1911 here because this is the only gun that I own that has both a backstrap safety and the thumb safety. Okay, I don't own the Shield EZ, because that's owned by the people I trained. But this gun I will be able to illustrate what I am talking about. So here's the thing: with this style of a gun that has that thumb safety, right? The way you're supposed to shoot this gun is when your safety's on, the gun's in the holster. You come out of the holster, right? Right. You get your thumb on top of the thumb safety, and the thumb rides on top of your thumb safety while you're shooting. Okay, and that ensures that the thumb safety is deactivated all the time. If you try to put your thumb under it, there's too much of a chance that something might happen to push your hands up and accidentally activate that thumb safety. So if you're shooting a 1911 or any gun with a thumb safety the correct way, your thumb's always riding on top, the safety is always going to be off. Okay, but here's the problem: we've got two safeties here, thumb safety and backstrap safety, and what I'm seeing on the EZ is that it requires a lot of pressure to actually deactivate the backstrap safety, a lot more than this 1911. So let me explain what I mean. When my thumb is riding on top of the thumb safety, you can clearly see the back strap over here, right? If I'm holding it one-handed, because normally I'd be holding it like this, and you wouldn't be able to see it, so I'm taking one hand away. You can see the back strap safety back here, right? Now, if I push my thumb forward like this, right? All right, so if I were holding the gun like this, you can see how I'm clearly applying a lot more pressure on the back strap safety. So on the 1911, when I have my thumbs on top, the 1911 and all 1911s that I have shot don't require that much pressure on the backstrap safety in order for the gun to work. So even though you can see the backstrap safety there, you can see that my thumb is not completely pushing up against it. When I squeeze the trigger, you will see that the hammer drops. Okay, right? It does not require a whole lot of pressure. With the Shield 9 EZ, it requires a lot more pressure. Okay, so what I noticed is that when my customer was shooting this gun and they had their thumb on top like this, on several occasions they were not applying enough pressure to the backstrap safety to deactivate it. Okay, so that's a problem. I think that's I mean, in general, I think that can become an issue with any gun that has a backstrap safety. If you find yourself in an awkward position, or if you're in a grappling situation and you don't get a firm grip on the gun, not having a firm grip on the gun will prevent the gun from working. But the 1911 is a lot more forgiving. Okay, so as like I said, as I'm holding it here, you can clearly see the backstrap safety exposed. Okay, and then when I press the trigger, the hammer drops. In fact, if I pull my hand even a little further back, right now you can see a lot more of the backstrap safety. Okay, so I'm going to put my finger on the trigger. You can see how that hammer drops. It doesn't take it takes like very light pressure to deactivate the backstrap safety, but the Shield 9 EZ requires a lot more pressure, and to me that's a conflict between the two safeties, because again, your thumb has to be riding on top, which is going to obviously take some pressure off. If you bring the thumb down, so now you're applying the amount of safety that you will need to be sure that the backstrap safety is deactivated. Now you're no longer riding your thumb on top of the thumb safety, so now there's too much of a chance that you might accidentally flip that up. So that's my issue with that gun. I'm not sure if they make a version of that gun that does not have a thumb safety, but if they did, I would definitely buy a version of that gun that did not have a thumb safety. My preferred safety mechanism for a handgun is the holster. I want to use a hard Kydex holster so that the trigger guard is protected. I don't want to use leather. I don't want to use fabric. You know, I don't want anything that's collapsible. You know, on the gun that has a single action or fairly light trigger. Okay, I want to use a hard Kydex holster. And that's, you know, what I would recommend for that gun too. But I think that there's a serious problem with the two safeties conflicting with each other. Because like I said, the thumb has to be riding on top, and when your thumb's riding on top, you can clearly see that I am not applying as much pressure on the backstrap safety as if my thumb were forward like that. So there are my thoughts on that. You know, and again, it does accomplish the goal that I think it was trying to do, of making the gun easy to load the magazine, easy to rack the slide. But I think they just way overdid it with the safeties on that gun. So if you guys have any comments, put it in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.